So other factors, that's why I use the word entitlement. Other factors are used, to bring people in, and the entitlements can come from the platform of a political party or system that brought the individual in. It could also come from a tribal viewpoint.
Or even religious sentiment.
Religious sentiment play a major role in those things. If you remove those things, you find that you can begin to talk of competence, but you see, you cannot solve a problem that you are part of. So you have to, because the problem the local government is trying to solve, it's the primary culprit, in that problem, because that is why no matter what you do, it still comes back to the same thing. Everything revolves around, we need money for this, we need money for that, we need money for that. But every role within an administration or a business or an enterprise is defined. When I call you an engineer,
right,
or electrical engineer,
right,
the title defines your responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's not just something they just give to somebody. So the person is designed or has built himself up to be able to perform that task. So first of all, you need to write staff, the local government system to begin to give the kind of service that it's meant to give. Secondly, you need to look at the internal processes, of administration, and efficiency. People not coming to work or come to work. And secondly, the last one, you need to restructure the system in a way that is designed for service, not for retirement and not for other considerations. So those are areas you have to look into. There are other more technical aspects of it, but I know that my experience in administration, and operations management actually placed me in a better position, to be able to look at these things and say, okay, each case or each department, the peculiarities of that department, vis-a-vis other departments and how you come in. One thing we always say is that if you are auditing a system, the first thing you look at is not the money. The first thing you look at is the process. If the process is flawed, the money cannot be correct. So it means that there's a money problem.
Indeed.
And that is where leakages come from flawed processes. And the reason people don't review those processes is because there is benefit in keeping it the way it is.
Indeed. You just spoke about leakages.
Yes.
And it's like you took the words right out of my mouth, because I was going to ask the next question. As it tied to your party, your political party, and some of the words when I did my research that were used in some of your public meetings. You spoke about leadership without greed. Am I correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So your party's mission is leadership without greed. And looking at revenue now,
yes,
given that revenue leakages in AMAC is a thing,
yes,
what specific radical anti-corruption measure will you implement on day one to safeguard the council's internally generated revenue?
So on day one, we begin, like I said earlier on, you start with a process audit, first of all. Every system has a process that is meant to follow. So you cannot find leakages if you don't audit those processes and pick out the points where it's like in security, for example.
Yeah.
If you are going on a journey, let's say somewhere in the Middle East or Northeast, where there are crises. Normally, if criminals want to ambush you, they create or look for what they call choke points.
Yeah.
You understand? So the idea of choke point is to stop whatever resource from going. So the system around that area is designed to benefit the person laying the ambush. So within every system, there are other measures that have been put in place,
right?
At the discretion of whoever is running that place, and it fall under their discretionary rules, but actually even contravene civil service rules and procedures. So I've had the benefit of even auditing and working along with some government agencies, to review their internal processes, to look at what they are doing with regards to staffing, internal. So that one, you cannot run away from it, and it means that
internal audit.
You cannot run away from it because
of the books or the personnel.
Personnel, books. But first you start with the process.
Okay.
You begin to pick out issues with the process. Then who is responsible for that flaw or that who dropped the ball in that particular area. Then you begin to look at the personnel responsible. Now, sometimes it may not be a deliberate act of sabotage,
right?
But sometimes there are corporate cultures that have been created within the system that aids inefficiency.
Right.
So those are the things that you begin to look at. You look at the corporate culture around tax administration, for example.
Right.
I begin to say, okay, what is this? How is the process? Who collects this tax? Are they agencies or individuals or businesses that are assigned to do this? What is the process used to arrive at choosing this individual? Your procurement processes, you know, all those things. You look at them, you will find the reason we find it difficult to probe things in Nigeria. You know, is because there is no political will or design to actually want to make things work. Now, everybody's definition of things working is different from the other person. My definition of things working when I work in operations is that you don't see the operations team. You never see them.
You don't see the operations team?
You never see them.
Why?
Because everything is working. They're always behind the scene.
Okay.
You understand? So their intent is not visibility. The intent is efficiency.
Right.
If refuse disposal and other things are working in AMAC, we will not notice it.
Right.
You will just know that things are working. So I don't need to go on TV or radio to broadcast and say we are doing this, we are doing that. No, you will see the result of it. Because the end beneficiary of those processes and services is the people of AMAC. So local government administration can be run from that side, but you may also see that there should be some level of profitability for the people. Now, what is profit in local government administration or any government administration, basically?
Mr. Robert,
yes.
I know we started from talking about leakages in IGR,
yes.
Which you have talked about, but I know that I think we'll begin to look into other issues.
Yes.
But before then, I wanted to mention that we're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Okay. So if you are listening and you want to have a glimpse of what it is like in the studio, go to YouTube, go to Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja, and you'll see Mr. Robert Madaki. He is the YPP's AMAC chairmanship candidate, and Mazi right next to me in the studio here. I'm my humble self looking at some of these critical issues. Now, Mr. Robert, you were speaking, and you spoke about will.
Yes.
The political will.
Yes.
I remember the words of a one-time EFCC chairman, Nuhu Ribadu, talking about corruption fighting back.
Yes.
When you try to make anything around siphoning of funds, make it tighter, make it difficult, it's going to fight back. How are you going to manage that? I'm going to tie this to the political party, the platform upon which you are running, because that is also very crucial. In Nigeria, governance and politics always seem to overlap. In fact, politics always seem to have more superimposing effect over governance.
Yes.
Now, the YPP is not the ruling party in AMAC. So, we are looking at, hypothetically speaking here, there is, in office, you're trying to solve this issue, and we have a majority. So I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to talk about here. So how are we going to deal with that when you're trying to cut down on costs, cut down on leakages? It's going to fight back.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you going to sack people?
So
employ new staff? So
I'm not the issues around administration when you talk about dealing with the issue of corruption or leakages in any system is that it's a multidimensional approach. First of all, like there is this adage that says that if the only tool you have is a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. So you go hit, but so what we do is essentially to first look at those systems and correct them. Now, this is not an intent to witch hunt anybody.
Okay.
It is born out of the desire, to help to do our own part towards building the Nigeria that we all claim we want. Because even the person, embezzling or taking money, has will, if you talk to the person will say, oh, Nigeria needs to be like this, Nigeria needs to be like that, and there are so many people that are involved in corruption now because they don't have a platform, they feel that to survive, they have to toe the line because it's about survival.
Right.
It's not even about whether it's right or wrong. They know it's wrong. Nobody will go to their church or mosque or anywhere and go and announce that I embezzled millions of naira. Please help me, thank God. So we all know it's wrong. But we have to start somewhere. And we have to decide as a people, if the pockets of a few people, we would rather have them line their pockets and then thousands of people suffer and die. There is a serious deficit in local government administration in AMAC, whether you are looking at healthcare, education, so many things. Now, that deficit has an effect. The lack of appropriate medical care for a mother. What is the infant mortality rate in FCT? What are the direct causes of those deaths?
Right.
So when you begin to probe these things, you see that people die for no reason. So if that there are people that may have to lose their livelihood for the better of the whole Nigeria, that is what we have voted in for. That you correct the system, and in correcting the system, you remove the bad eggs. You don't say out of sentiment because there is a ruling party that is there. Remember that AMAC is not about party.
Yeah.
It's not about APC, PDP, YPP or any group. It is about the people of AMAC and what they want and what is good for them. You made a statement earlier on that AMAC is supposed to be, or is one of the biggest
local government
in Nigeria. Now, I said this, and I always say this. I said AMAC actually is meant to be the poster child for local government administration in Nigeria. There has been cry for autonomy. One of the biggest issues that if you speak to an average governor or any other person that is fighting the issue of local government autonomy is corruption. How do you curb corruption on local government level? How do you manage a local government system that is run by potentially somebody who does not know what he's doing? What are the checks and balances? How do you control these things? I give you an example. If you go to a local government now that is dominated by a particular tribe that has a propensity, or somebody from that tribe has a propensity to what they call it, prosecute other people from other tribes. So what would be the outcome? How does it work? So these are issues. So if we need to make AMAC what AMAC is meant to be, then we need to do the right things. So AMAC is not there yet. So, and AMAC is the example that the people in the National Assembly see for local government administration, because many of them spend more time in AMAC than they spend in their local governments.
Indeed.
So those are issues. So we need to fight corruption. Whatever it takes, you face it,
All right.
Yeah.
Indeed. Time will not permit for us to go into, the nitty-gritty of very technical questions. Because these questions are quite technical, and plenty follow-up questions can follow.
Yes, sir.
But not enough time. We need to look at security, the markets. We need to look at again IGR.
Yeah.
We need to look at some of these poorly lit environments within AMAC.
Okay.
So many issues to look at. We'll also give opportunities for some of our listeners to ask questions.
Okay.
I know they'd like to ask about your credentials.
Okay.
Where have you been to? What have you done? Why do you think you deserve to lead us?
Okay.
All of these questions will come after this commercial break. So stick around. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this very short commercial.
Wow, mommy! Today Turkish Airlines.
The only detergent that keeps me bright and fresh. I know they waste time to wash. I thought my clothes have the best, so why go less? You can't wash it out with a little Viva. Use Viva. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Use Viva. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever.
Viva Detergent, a quality cleaning powder from Aspira. This November, heaven calls and the saints gather under one divine instruction, the mandate. Welcome to the Koinonia Global Faith Convention 2025. From the 19th to the 23rd of November, join Apostle Joshua Selman with our father in the faith, Daddy E. Adeboye, and other anointed ministers, Bishop David Abuye, Dr. David Oweli, Pastor Poju Oyemade, Reverend Julian Kula, Bishop Mrs. Funke Felix Adejumo, Pastor Nathaniel Bassey, Minister Dusin Oyekon, and many more. Venue, Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Constitution Avenue, Kukwa Airport Road, Abuja. Time, morning session, 9 a.m., evening session, 5 p.m. daily. For inquiries, call +234 907 777 7853 or visit www.koinoniageneralassembly.com for more details. This is the mandate. Come, be a part of the General Assembly.
Koinonia. Intimacy, partnership, fellowship.
Everyone says I'm beautiful and bold. They say I'm fashionable, and to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
People say I'm good looking, funny, hardworking, and to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
So whether in the office or at home,
in the streets or on the dance floor,
anytime, any day, I never lose my confidence. And the secret to my confidence is Wazobia perfume.
Absolutely. Wazobia perfume gives the authenticity and long-lasting fragrance all day. That's my secret confidence.
Wazobia perfume is available in body spray.
Also available in supermarkets and markets near you. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info. Stay on track with Nigeria Info.
And PFN, the Stone Bishops.
Talking about Mourinho and AS Roma. Paulo Dybala has joined forces with Mourinho.
And then so the aviation workers also want to join the strike.
More access to all the top stories and more.
95.1.
Let's talk. Can I have your attention, please?
The news, information, and the right conversation are here on Nigeria Info.
How many this type of wicked attack has affected in the other part of this country? So that's what this is for ourselves.
I'm not supporting stealing, but these politicians need to be taught a lesson.
Your number one station for talk. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, welcome back. 95.1 Nigeria Info, and still town hall meeting with our guest in the studio, Mr. Robert Madaki, YPP's AMAC chairmanship candidate for the forthcoming area council elections right here in Abuja, Federal Capital Territory. Mazi Destiny Anthony too is in the studio with me, and we're just having conversations around the critical issues right here in AMAC. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. So just go to any of those platforms and you can see what is going on right here in the studio. I can also begin to take questions for our guests on the WhatsApp portal, or if you're streaming on any of those platforms, you can drop messages or questions that you have for our guests in the studio. 0809 993 0137. 0809 993 0137 is the WhatsApp number. I can't take calls yet. We'll do that towards the end of the show. But now we can start looking at messages. All right. So I can see someone already calling. Please just try to send a message. All right. We can see the question and then we can ask the guests because there are tons of questions. But Mazi, let me come to you. Mazi, I know you do business in AMAC.
True.
So if I ask a business-related question, you can relate personally because you do business in AMAC.
Yeah.
So yes, I wanted to ask a question.
Okay. I know that our constitution, mandates INEC to conduct election. I think 3 years, 3 years, right? But for people like me, that we've given up on the local government system, because if you've been following town hall meeting for a year something, I've been an advocate that this system should be scrapped. And Gabriel, why I keep saying that was that there is nothing, to show. As a businessman, the only thing I know I'm getting from AMAC is they coming around my place and collecting revenue, or if I'm driving a space bus or a pickup or a Hilux, they will stop me, embarrass me, and collect money from me. That is the only benefit. You remember when the schools were locked, our primary schools were closed for 3 months plus? You know the reason why people were shouting and saying, we can open, because they don't know that it's the responsibility of area council to pay primary school teachers. So now for people like me, that as a businessman, I don't really know why should I come out and say I'm voting for, I'm going to participate in the area council election. Secondly, what are you going to do to make people change their mind? Because the reason why we have high voter apathy when it comes to area council election is because people, they don't really see the need for this. And meanwhile, this is the government that is supposed to be the closest, to the people. So what can I benefit as a businessman, and how can you, change the mind of people and let them know that area council election will actually change their lives more than the president can do directly.
So professionally speaking, he's talking in line of voter apathy.
Yes,
that what's your stance to encouraging residents of Abuja, residents of AMAC, to come out and vote?
Okay. So one of the, when we growing up, in school, we were told local government administration, federal, when they were defining democracy to us,
Right.
Like I did government secondary school, and they define different kinds of systems. There is no system of government that does not involve the people. The only thing that is their involvement to what degree of involvement, you have people. And so why democracy is viewed as the best is because it's the one that has the people at the center of its operation. That's to say, you cannot have democracy without people, And first of all, voting is a civic responsibility. It's a civic, it's a right. You have the right to vote, but you also have the responsibility to ensure that you come out and vote. So the voter apathy is an instrument for people who want to manipulate the system and the electoral processes. Because now voter apathy manifests itself in different ways, and the impact of it is actually more far-reaching than people think. Because when you don't come out to vote, if somebody goes and writes results and they're able to get your data, and put in that so person, voted and everything, you didn't go and vote, but the information says you voted.
Right.
So in a way, by not coming out, and you are not in the position to even challenge it.
Right.
You are not in a position to challenge anything. So first of all, the first thing that we need to do is to know that the vote cost. The current system, or any system that is not working, that you vote in, is the system you vote in that you get. So the primary responsibility is actually the people.
Right.
Yes, it is time to stop playing victim.
Yeah.
Nobody is a victim. We're all architects in the current Nigeria.
Whether you come out to vote or not.
Whether you come out to vote or not. In fact, your indecision is a decision to do nothing. So whether you decide or you don't, somebody will make decision from you, because what you have done is that you have given another person the right to decide your future,
right,
without having a say in it. And if you don't participate, you can't complain. So it is morally wrong for us to sit back and not do anything about it. If you vote, okay, we have not come out to vote. That's one level of democracy. Nobody, I don't know any record of any politician that has been successfully recalled by the electorate. I don't have any information about that in Nigeria. The last attempt we saw was Natasha Akpoti.
Right.
That there was an attempt to recall her and everything, and the system, INEC said it was flawed and everything. It's only when the people are actually involved in the process that they can actually successfully recall somebody. You can't recall somebody on social media. You can't recall somebody by signing an online petition.
True.
But if you go through the electoral, we need to educate our people on the importance of actually participating fully in the electoral process, because their participation is what defines the outcome of the elections.
Right.
Now, Abuja has had that fortune of being that place that always has this protest vote and things like that, so people come out, so there's a bit more education, around the FCT with regards to people coming out to exercise their franchise. But when it comes to local government, there is apathy. Very serious apathy. Now, local government is the one that directly affects you. You rightly mentioned the fact that there are responsibilities that are meant to be local government responsibilities, but people think it's FCT.
Yeah.
And because we now have a vocal and what they call it,
quite up and about
minister.
Yeah.
Before him, it was El-Rufai that was a bit out there, but not as much as Wiki is. So the tendency is to even look at responsibilities that are not his own, to put it at his table.
Right.
And then he has even responded to some, angrily. But the main thing is to know that it's a major risk to sit back, and assume that whether your vote will count or not. Your vote counts. If it doesn't count, why are people buying votes? If the vote don't have value, why do people pay for people to vote for them? So the issue is that you have to define the cost and the price of your vote. What is the price you are paying? Because everything you pay or you get paid has, if you collect 1,000 now to vote, it means that you are voting for no health care. You are voting for, because the resources that are used for this kind of thing, they come from somewhere.
Indeed.
And those resources have to
be refunded with interest.
Yes, so we cannot afford to sit back.
Right.
The last local government election in AMAC had 19,000 plus as winner. Now, that is poor if you compare it to presidential and other elections. Now, that last election had only about... some people say 5.6%, some people say 5.8%. That's not up to 10% of the voting capacity of AMAC, which means that if I just go to Gwarimpa, and I get 18,000 residents to vote, and I go to another place and I pick a few and add, I've won election. That is not right. So the citizens of AMAC need to do better. And come out and actually, this one is even more important than presidential.
Indeed.
Yes, the local government is the closest government to the people. It's the grassroots government.
And that's why.
So the business end, Mazi asked about, from the business perspective, you have too many issues bedeviling the business people in AMAC. I happen to have run or worked on some businesses in AMAC. And I know how much you come, they will bring radio tax, they will bring this one, they will bring that one. You have the issues of tenement rates. You have the issues of you paying for services that you don't even see. But those services exist on paper, And so you have business people not having access to the basic facilities that they need to make business work within AMAC, AMAC, local government cannot create businesses, but they can actually create the environment for businesses to grow. And there is hardly an interface. I've never seen, maybe I may be corrected, but I've not seen where there is a local government administration sitting down with business people in AMAC to actually do things and talk, like organize fairs, business opportunities that will help people, business grow, will help with business visibility for people in AMAC, even quality control. Even quality control. Local government officials would go to a place, they focus on the tax aspect of it, but the service. I went to a place and I saw that they had a certificate, health certificate, hanging on the wall, and the place was so dirty. So
issued health certificate by a local government.
That's quite ironical.
Yes.
There's a health certificate and that place is dirty, unhygienic.
Yes. So what are the parameters, for these things? So these are things that affect businesses, because if the quality of businesses improve within the city, the quality of services by extension and other things improve, healthcare improves, everything. So everything is connected. So even if you pick a business now and you go to Banex and other places where they come and collect taxes from them, there is no place where there is business that they don't come and collect taxes. So you have a bank, you have systems. AMAC has a microfinance bank. What benefit is that system to the average businessman in AMAC?
And people don't even know that.
People don't know that there are services like that, And so if those kind of services exist, how does it benefit them? How is it that AMAC is not able to come up with ideas around business incubation, incubation hubs for different kinds of things, technology and other areas of development, and you can even take it down even to the indigenes, those who are indigenous to AMAC. What is the benefit in business for the people in AMAC if the AMAC system is such that we've had more of indigenes as local government chairman and administration leaders? So you have to look at this thing, and we have to tell ourselves the truth that local government has not been working. It only exists in the structure of collecting revenue and one or two other areas. So so if you have a system like we have in the FCT now, whereby the local government administration hides under the FCTA, and the lines are blurred because people don't know, not because they don't have responsibility. The local government has statutory responsibilities that are even not yet even being fulfilled.
Right.
So to talk of areas like primary healthcare and education and all those things, is one area. But it's symptomatic of a kind of system that we have in place that caters to, that's why I use the word, caters to greed, or caters to the idea of entitlement.
All right. You've been right in pointing out some of these critical issues.
Yes.
So I'm curious here. What do you propose will be a solution to solving multiple levies and taxation on business owners within AMAC?
Okay.
A practical solution here that people can say, okay, that's something that would work, because it's a big challenge. People get levied on multiple fronts. Many people don't even know what they are paying for, like you mentioned. Yes. So what would be a solution to that?
Okay, so there has to be a review of tax administration within AMAC. If the federal government and state governments have been harmonizing and trying to correct some of these things, and you see from January next year, the new tax laws will take will go into effect. Now, to me, I know a lot of those things may be down the line, and I'm saying this on air, on record. Down the line, I think a lot of those taxes will be reforms and laws will be reviewed, because I think that, in my own personal opinion, they may not be so practical.
Why do you say so?
Because I don't think it takes into consideration Nigerians. I think it's a tax law that takes into consideration more of international monetary rules and regulations than other things, because Nigeria is a heavy debtor, and So if you increase taxes and review tax systems where you keep borrowing money, every day, you're borrowing money, the Senate is quick to approve monies and all that. I think that there is a problem somewhere.
So how are you going to address this issue?
In the local government context, is that you have to restructure the tax system, first of all, and then you eliminate multiple taxing, because you can't tax people on the same thing, and then you review a tax. You see, the thing about taxes is that it's not the amount individual pay, it's the volume. If it's affordable, right, and then people can pay it, if they are not dying to pay it, right, and then they are seeing the services that, okay, if we collect taxes in this area, that, okay, it's meant for these services. Those things are there. There is efficiency, management of tax funds. What are they going into? What is being done? That is, so if you have that, you people won't even have issues actually paying taxes. But first of all, you have to restructure the tax system to eliminate leakages, number one, to deal with the issues of multiple taxing, and also it has to be fair. It has to be fair on the people. Right. Because you see, the thing with local government, you see a minister or an appointed person wasn't voted into office. But you see, a local government chairman is voted to represent the interests of the people. I
don't have immunity.
You don't have immunity. They
so you can be taken to court.
EFCC will now carry you, even if they just want to harass you for harassment's sake. You understand? I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm just saying that a local government chairman is like every other person.
Right.
Except that
and should be treated as such. Indeed. Let's talk about another critical issue that many people in Abuja struggle with: transportation.
Okay.
Transportation network, not road network. Roads opening up, but people struggle with transportation within AMAC. Talking about lack of designed practical transport scheme, consistent, sustainable transport scheme that helps people move from one point to the other. And then the fact that people don't even have the means. Some people earn 40,000 naira monthly. They work in the heart of AMAC. And they earn 40,000 monthly. These persons don't necessarily stay in AMAC. In fact, they stay in neighboring states to the FCT. But if I'm not mistaken, if you're staying, for example, anything beyond Yanya, from Yanya to Secretariat, as at this morning, is 700 naira. As at this morning. If you're going to wait for maybe some of these long buses, which can take forever to get to your destination, or maybe you're going to Wuse, for example, or Bega, you're looking at 700. So you're spending roughly about 1,500, 2,000 naira every day, and you multiply that by 20 working days in the month. You already have the figure. So people are living from hand to mouth. Working in AMAC, living in AMAC. This is some of the biggest challenges. So transportation is a big issue. What's going to be the solution to that?
Okay, so the scope of what local government can do in the area of transportation may be limited by local government budgetary considerations. However, that doesn't mean that they cannot do a lot. And I know why I say that, because I've had people say things like, oh, you're going to bring buses, you do this and that, and for somebody who has done some procurement, heavy procurements, I know how many millions you need to shell out to get those kinds of buses and systems in place. So local government security transport issue is in AMAC. Local government has a role to play to facilitate the system, yes. So and the facilitation can come in various ways. One way you can facilitate transport issue is especially you can do targeted facilitation. For example, now you have local government workers or people who work in certain areas, so you subsidize the transport cost. You understand? So in other words,
I believe some of these things already exist.
Yes, so
but we're talking about the average individual, who is not a civil servant, does not work for a big company,
a sales girl, a
security man.
So let me explain.
Yes, please, sir.
You see, that's why I use the word targeted.
Okay.
So targeted in the sense that most of these people, you rightly said, live in many of the suburbs around FCT. Now, there are villages within FCT. So, like actual real villages.
Within AMAC too?
Yes, within AMAC. So, when you go into those places, you find that, yes, a lot of those people come from those areas. Now, one centralized area, like I use the word centralized because of its location and it's easy to not know that places like that exist. There is a place called within Gwagwa ward. So there is a cluster of towns, small towns, and some actual villages that exist within those systems, right? Transportation between that area. So a place like Dede falls under Gwagwa. So Dede is the most popular place under the entire Gwagwa. You have other areas within Gwagwa, like Garimo. You have places like Zauda, some other places there. So now, within that system, right, there is a problem of transportation.
Right.
And they are clustered. So the major means of transportation is either use keke or use a motorbike. Now, within AMAC, right, there is no structural design that accommodates internal railway system or light rail systems. Even if it was in the master plan, right, the development has not taken that into consideration, and there has been the master plan itself has been broken down. So now within AMAC, I'm not sure how much access of land AMAC as a local government has right now that may or may not have been taken over by the FCT. Now, within that system, when you talk about transportation, all that the local government can do is to get one or two vehicles put on the road, regardless of who comes in, but you target it to the areas and those places where people come in and come out, so it's subsidized and then it's safe, because now those routes that I'm telling you now are major routes for one chance.
Indeed.
Yes. They are major routes for one chance. So the only thing that local government can do is to do its bit in terms of putting one or two vehicles on the road, but also regulate the transporters.
Right.
Regulate the transporters. If the transporters are paying multiple taxes, you come to this bus stop, you pay. You come to this bus stop, you pay. You come to this bus stop, you pay. Local government people are there collecting money. This one is there. That one is there. Road transport union workers.
But the local government people,
yes,
the collectors, I like to call them technical partners now.
Yes.
They say they're working for the chairmanship, not the chairman now. They say they're working for the local government, and the money goes back to the local government. Yeah. So it's like they're there on the order and allowance of the local government. So
if they are there on the order and the allowance of the local government, we had the recent issues that happened earlier this year, accidents, Mabushi, and we had something around Nyanya axis too. There are other underreported or not reported ones that have happened. Well, if you are working there by government directive, why is it that when it happens they all run away?
Indeed.
That one is even one of the major areas that we have to look into and structure the system to make it more.
Mr. Robert, let's go for the break, for a commercial break. I would have to also pause for a while for the news at 11. Okay. Please borrow us another 10-15 minutes so we can round up this conversation and allow our listeners to join in the conversation as well.